Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on UppTalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say UppTalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you are new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
Two people are in offered stage and there's an error. What is the error? A chunkable crosset? I don't know what it is. I think we can still go. Click on Candidates Grid. Candidate. Scroll down. Two of them are in hire. These three job BPs are very much interrelated. First, we have to create a job rec and the job rec BP is triggered. Then job application. Once the job, what time the hiring trigger, hire trigger within the job application or after the job application is completed. Once the job application triggers, it leads to triggering of review BP. And once we complete the review BP, it then asks us to which next stage we want to move. And likewise, we can move the person to phone screen assessment interview or a reference check. Once we select the status as higher BP now, then ready for higher BP gets triggered. And it leads to triggering of those 4 or 5 BP. As for the candidate type, it could be the higher BP itself. It could be add job, change job, or convert to employee like this. Did the vendor cross off a BP? Did the vendor cross off a BP? No, these are higher BP. These are the last steps of job application or where they trigger like that. I see this. This is the last step. After the battery check is clear and they click on hire. No, not on clicking. Let's do one thing. Can you create one prospect and create a job app for him? Would you create a new prospect? Yes, create a new prospect, then create a job application. I don't know what the challenge is coming. I don't know what the challenge is coming. I don't know what the challenge is coming. I don't know why you're sticking long. Refresh. This was happening with my last candidate tours. Something else is happening to you. Because we were having something recently. Somebody try to hire an employee in a job rec, and then within the job rec he did something as he bring another job rec during the process, and now the same job rec he used for hiring somebody. It was not available to hire somebody else. I was thinking like when you create a job rec for specific position you want to hire. Unless the whole process is completed, the person is the highest stages and he hired, then that job rec is available for to hire another person. It depends upon the number of openings. If you have only one opening and you have hired for that person, it will be filled. And if you again want to do the hiring with that, you need to edit the job rec and add the number of openings or add the position. And then likewise it will be open, but it will lead to triggering of edit job requisition VP and not the job rec. I mean it's at the same time. We can use same job rec to hire two different people. We can use the same time. If we have defined like number of openings as 2, we can Because yesterday we had the issue that was all over the place. Like he wanted to hire somebody on the same. He hired it already. And then he said my job rec is not available. Because during the process he in the middle, he changes our rec and another rec was came and then he ultimately hired another rec, not the one who's supposed to. And then he said, I want this rec to be open. I could hire somebody else. Somebody else. Edit job rec VP got triggered and I think you cannot move across a candidate from one job rec to another in between. You can only move between evergreen and normal job rec. In that case, like what you can do, you can create a new job application for your new job rec and move the candidate directly to the stage where he was at the end. That he doesn't go through all those stages again. Internally, you can do this setup. Like you, create another job application business process, the whole business process. Since we have same support, right? Your BPs would be same in the tenant. The job rec BP will also be the same. It's just that a new job rec is getting created, right? A new job rec is getting created, but you want to utilize the same old candidate who was, let's suppose, in interview stage at that time, right? In that case, like what you can do, you can create a job application. You can create a new job application as a recruiter in the system and you can transfer that candidate to the required stage in that new job rec. Now create job application. You can create a new job application. You remember your support number, right? Your job rec number. Create. Do you have any prospect already? You need to create prospect first. Duplicate it or whatever. You can create prospect. Your prospect. Just fill in these details, only the important ones. No need of going into each and every one. We read the name at least. It's already an error coming up. There's some issue in your tenant. Just try to click on and then if it's not working, I'll screen share. You have the same GMS or I have a remote desktop. It's a bit different. Create prospect is when somebody has not a prospect is the one who doesn't apply. Yet, how we create them. It could be like the candidate has come on the external career side and given his info as prospect. The recruiter can use that prospect directly or recruiter can also create prospect. Like he might have seen him on some platform or any other platform offline. And he says, let me create a job app for you. And he can do the back end processing. Then employee will know that the proper will know that we communicate that we want him to apply to the website, external side. Then we move from there. From here, I think, show me the error. I don't know what is the process. Which one you created? We found it. It was David Kelly. This is Ethan Kelly. Somebody else not. They're saying that they found duplicates of workdays fetching this result. Cancel this. And change the name of the person or edit prospect. Oh, it's not even created. No, it's not. Again created. And that they sensitize the world. For this job application, we only create one time and then we maintain it in the template and it should automatically fetch for every candidate right. What the job application, job application. Let me show you the process. I'll first create prospect. I can mention the source of this prospect, his details. All the job application information would be asked over here as well. I'll click on. Now my prospect profile has got created and these are the only details. I'll now create the job application for him. And the candidate will get an email that we read a profile for him and he can apply. He will get some information during the job application process wherever candidate ourselves has been included as a security group. But I don't think we have included any notifications yet on our VP's job application. VP. If I open it, I will continue to take the process. And I can see you next time. Currently, this is the one now. Currently, there are only two notifications. One will trigger when the beep is rescinded. Another one will trigger to candidate on entry during the review candidate step. Let's see if you will be getting the email ID on. What is your job? Rec ID. 40. I don't know. Macy's manager is not mine. I don't know. Somebody used mine. Macy's manager. This is basically the job application template. Let me see. We did not create any job application template. I don't know. I'm not sure. 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 This was created by a small. This is a. The management skill. Let me keep it there. Company. It's not a strict, but still it would show an error if you're not putting anything here. It's a, I would say, Workday bug. They should have put a here, the stroke. Language would be. I think it will last for abilities. I have created the job application for. And there's a review process now. And it is a waiting action by 16 people. Can you just check if you got any? Thank you for applying email. I got it. Thank you for applying. If this would have been an external candidate who have applied through the external career side, no on his candidate home account, he would have got the message along with his Gmail ID, valid Gmail ID. This is also an external candidate only, but it is created by recruiter. He's also the same one. Only the way of creation of his job app is different. Now it's going to happen. There's one active job application, and if I click on actions, I can move the candidate. And here also I could see 16 people who can work on this review. Review action step. And the internal candidate, they automatically get the notification as we populate it. When he the internet apply from the jobs. Absolutely. Whichever valid email ID is there. It could be his work email. On that he could get, or on his Gmail ID somewhere over there also. There won't be any candidate home account internally, but there's a new update which I got to know. I don't know if it's in production yet or not. Like how we created our customized external career site. No, for internal career site as well, we can do the customization. We not only always have to go on find job. We can customize the layout and branding and everything for the client as well. There are multiple ways by which I can take action on the job app. One is from here. One on going into the inbox. I have to review. The review BP has been triggered here. You can also go to the job rec. Yes, that is what I was going to do. Currently, like this is reassigned apparently. I have to review. Let me go to the job. I could see. Now should we see it as well? It is saying reassign this task even though a waiting action is going to these people. All these people. I don't know. I don't know why they have put it. Review has only one step, right? The job application. I don't know why they have to review. I don't know why they have to do it. But I don't know why they have to review the application. But I don't know why they have to review the application. No, you took the review candidate here. It has to, I should. It is going to initiate her as well. Since Logan created the job app. That's why she is able to like go on the profile and do the actions. But still a reassign option is visible as well. It is not going to a proper security group. But I still see the option of move forward because I initiated it. I am the initiator for Shruti site. These all the job application that was created before, like Ask My Login. I don't know why it came Logan McNeil as a name. When we click on them, then we can move forward them from if we select the box checkbox on the top. If I click here, move forward, I would be able to move forward to next stage. This is basically a little bit different. Here they are selecting the jobs, the candidate next stage. For example, if I open the job application BP, Currently, I'm in review, right? What it is saying, move selected candidate to next stage. These are the next stages. From where these are coming, these are the next possible steps. For review, let's suppose if I select phone screen as my next stage. And if I go into that particular stage, it has all these next possible steps. All these things would be visible in the next step. As for this next stage, which we have selected, it is saying move selected to next step. That is because I've selected this here. These are the possible ones which could be made as the next step. If I open this, I have recruiter screen. Manager screen is not visible. How do we see the manager? This is the Twitter screen. How do we know? Wait, I'll select from here. Let me complete this one. And when I am going to move forward from this stage, no, then I'll be able to see manager phone screen. These are the steps within this stage. Move selected candidates to next stage. From where he would move from review. These are the next possible. The phone screen is coming. And that's it. Let me click on. We don't have to select this next step. This one. Actually, this is coming by default. As for this, that's the reason. Now phone screen has been triggered. This screen VP might have been triggered again. It is going unassigned. If I open the screen, we know it would have somewhere initiator. It has initiator again. That's why we don't keep initiator, even though I'll be able to move her forward. Now I could see manager phone screen as the next possible stage, as the next possible step. I'm moving the candidate from phone screen stage itself. And I have all these next possible steps. If it is getting confusing for you, let me just discard it and go to the profile of the candidate. From here also I could move the candidate. Currently I'm in recruiter phone screen. I can move the candidate to all these next possible steps or stage, whatever it is. If I select phone screen manager phone screen, no again, it will give me all these next possible steps. Let me see manager and I'll just go again. Now the screen BP has been triggered. Let me see how it goes. It took me again to this screen only. From here I can move forward. I can move forward from here also. These are the next possible stages. We are still in this screen stage only of the job application. And these were the next possible steps. If I click here, from here also I can move candidate. On the right side, go back. On the right side of the screen, there was the manager or something. I will say, on the right side, in progress. It's a parallel process or the next process. But this is what they want me. It's awaiting me action. If I'll go here now, they will ask me to do the actions only. That's it. Whether I want to move or whether I want to decline. If I'll see the BP definition, here I have to make the decision of screen candidate that whether he would be moved forward or whatever. Let me check if this is the decision making step up. I don't think. Screen candidate would be like an offline procedure would occur and he would do the screening. And then after this, a particular step should be included of making the decision. A particular decision. This is the only decision making step. In this screen, candidate. Like it would be the responsibility of the required security group of how he would be conducting that step offline or in Workday through any other communication. But in Workday, the work would be to only move him forward or decline him, like make a certain decision. This would be done in 3 ways over here on the screen. One is by job rec. One is from this profile. And what was the third way? I'm sorry. In this first one. And this is showing you the straight where if you go, can you profile it, show you the state like he's on a screening stage. And then if I move him forward, now let me move him to assessment. And he stays like, I'm sorry. Now why like? Didn't get reassigned option for manager phones. Because now clearly, it is like clear that the initiator is Logan. She's initiating the manager phone screen BP. That's why. Now what it is saying, I've initiated the assess BP. It's in progress. Let me check the process. Manager phone screen and this screen. This is about screen. Let me open the overall process. Job application overall process. I'll go to the process. The job application got triggered. Review got triggered. In the review, like there were 3. And some of them got automatically completed. Another one was reassigned. Then screen occurred. Screen first occurred for a recruiter phone screen, and it led to triggering of screen candidate and screen candidate. One got reassigned. Another one was screen, again screen. Now they assess candidate. Did you get any inbox item? Let me check. Let me check. We have not included any assessment. How could? How did you go to the last screen? You show me the job application, but usually I did the job record. The whole thing. No worries. I'll go to the inbox. Because that's where the easy way to see which area. I'll go to the archive. I could see the overall status for job application in progress for screening. It was completed. Screening. It was completed review. It was completed. Job application running to party. She's somebody else. I'll go to this. And over here, overall process, I'll click job application. But now, job requisition has nothing to do with this process. You can write the job application and the name of the person or rec number. This is easy way to understand because when the funnel come I get a little confused. Even in this. In these stages, these steps we miss. If we miss any stuff, like sometimes they are background check. There some steps are parallel and then they skip any step. And then the recruiter asked us to reassign them to step. That get really confusing. That way to go. Resigning, resigning. Resigning occurs when we don't have any user on that security group. It checked by Workday and backend. Skipping option. It is something coming from the BP configuration itself. If we have made that, step as optional. That security group user could just skip it and it will move on to the next step. That's it. And they're not getting badly triggered. They are getting triggered in sequence. For example, job application got triggered. It led to triggering of review. Once review was completed and review decision was taken that which would be the next stage. And recruiter selected or Logan selected screening. Then it led to triggering of screen BP. Again in the screen, we again selected the manager phone screen. Again it led to triggering of screen. And from screen we initiated assess. Now assess candidate P is getting triggered. We have to find out the way how we can move from job right for A. From the inbox or from the main candidate home. We can go and process that. And if we have any error here, we can come in correct these steps. Sometime resign in the correct. Whatever we want to do to make sure they're in a. Most of the time they skip any step and they say, I can move the candidate to the next stage. But we cannot skip every step because it depends upon the configuration. If I open this, we have this column optional. If we are making it, yes, only that step could be skipped. But yes, you're talking about the job application BP. In that, yes, we can select the next possible step as per our convenience. And then the in between will be skipped, right? That is true. Let me go. Can you go back to the job break? And then those candidates which I moved from different cities, they're on hire. Let me see from where. Since they're in hire, they cannot be moved forward. But let me see what is. It was 0, 1, 2, 4, 0. Once they reach the highest state, then this job application. This is the last step of the job application business process. Yes. Once we do the hiring, we will trigger the hire BP. Then it is taken care of by the same team, mainly. But in some companies, like sometimes recruiters also need to look into the hire BP and in that onboarding steps. All those, that is part of that same. What was the job? 244. Tulu. If I open this, or who are in hire, let me see. These two people are in fire. From here, only these three things were triggered. Background check. Thank you for applying and background check. Let me check the worker history. I'll go to action. This telecandidate, I cannot see them because he's not hired yet. No worries. This is also issue. Sometime I want to fix the BP as a candidate. There's no history. I don't know where to find a job, find a business process to fix it or correct it. I think we can go that way like BP, job application, and direct name or the candidate name. I could go to Logan as well and go to archive. There's a recruiter and many hiring managers should have. They would have been able to get this. Logan is both. Logan is both. Being like a admin role, in admin role. I wouldn't be able to see these things. It was, I think it's not this one. Can't you survive job application and then? No, that was surely job application says it because it's completed already. No, we will search for John. I don't have the option to create freedom. No, you did it yesterday. No, 5 to 8 was same to your class. Oh, when did you do it? Now. We just need any one of it, we'll see. This is the BP effect. Click on this. Oh, it's completed. This is the overall process. And if I click on process, 21 items are triggered. You skip these interview ones. Then offer was submitted. Then proposed com, which was part of offer. Then generate. Then this was skipped. Then background check. And ready for hire was completed. This was not required. You can do it. And it automatically triggers the hiring process. When once we complete or there's a manual. Yesterday we had an issue actually. We went through it. Remember that I was telling you the job record has issues. We fixed the job record and then we enter the job application again. We went through all the stages and then there was no option to hire him. Then we had to manually go to the task hire employee. And then we finally able to hire him. Once you have edited your job right, how you started with the candidate. We resigned the whole process. He has to post the job record games from the beginning. And then, after completing the BP job record, then we triggered a job application. And then we were able to see the hire options. And then we went to the task and hire employee. Task we use and then automatically approve all the approval. And then he was hired. This should be automatically triggered the hiring process after this stage is completed. No. Once you're editing the job record, it means you have made changes in the job opening. It needs to be first edit job record. BP should be completed. And then again the job application will start. It is not happening at runtime. If you're making any changes on your external career site, also in Workday, it will not reflect automatically. You have to unpost the job portal and then post it again. This is how it happens. Even if you have made changes in the job rate, still you need to go through the job app again. It will not resume from the stage when it was previously. We have to edit job break and then now we're on. Edit. This BP will trigger B job. We have this BP as well. One more thing, I think there was some option. I have to teach you that once we do the testing of this note, that is my next topic. It is again a very important topic from interview perspective and from implementation. Also, it's just that simply we are going to automatically advance a candidate to the next stage or automatically decline him on the basis of a particular condition. Let's suppose if a job application has been created and if, let's suppose, the candidate is less than 18 years. We want, in that case, the job app to be automatically declined by Workday. We don't want it to be triggered even into the inbox of Recruit or Manager. We have to do that. Set up on the job app. We'll see that later. And also the one more rule-based BP configuration. Rule-based BP configuration. It is part of XML concept. It is a way of not triggering the default definition, but some other definition on the basis of a condition. If I go and search for related action of the P now, not here. If you can view definition, it will give you some steps. I'm randomly opening any BP. Let's suppose if I don't want default definition to trigger. I'll go to related action. And here rule-based business process configuration. I'll click on. or add my rule. And here would be the definition I want to trigger based on this condition. What Workday will do? He will first look into these rules. And if they satisfy, then this BP will get triggered. And if none of them get satisfied, then the main default definition will get triggered. If I include a different for creating a job right, if selling it as one assignment as well in the job right, they want to change some reason and base or those reason. Instead of finding the default definition, they want to skip the manual. We skip the manual approval is I have to configure the job rec with a specific condition. Like if I change that, if I open your alpha, let's suppose this is the default definition in your system. What we will look into this. But if, let's suppose, we don't want this to trigger, we want something else. We'll go related action BP and, oh sorry, I clicked on the wrong. I'll go to BP and this is a rule-based business process configuration. And here I would put my rule or create the rule. Here it's written up job rec. Reason is acquisition. You can just look into this as business process reason and the selection list is true. This is the appropriate rule for you as well. And then you have to mention here the definition. Currently, it is not available, but in your system, you'll be able to see it. We have to create a definition, separate definition as well, right? And then I hear you. Where will we wait? Let's check the inbox item. I'll go to our grave. This was the one we were working on. Did you get any email item? Any? Give me one. Even though we have not attached any assessment still. No, the last one I got you was. Thank you for applying. That's it. That is because we have not added any assessment. There's no any integration in the system. What I'll do, I'll go to the profile and move forward. I'll skip this assessment, state itself. From assessment, these are the next possible stages. Let me open schedule interval. It is again going to reassign because initiator would be there. Let me go into the inbox. Let me reassign no issue. That's why we have to be sure about the security groups and everything. Otherwise, resign and assigned and interview. This is the one. Let me reassign to Logan. This is how the task looks like of scheduling the interview. They will ask me who would be the interviews, what would be the duration. I'll put in 50 minutes. Then what is the interview type? Whether it is telephonic or in person. We can maintain these types in the system as well. Then which competencies this interviewer is going to check. What would be the questionnaire the person is going to ask? And what are the notes? Anything. Any additional instructional text. Then we can also mention you same location or room and overall comment. And I'll click on. Date has to be given. Let me give today's date only. We have to make sure that the required notifications are set. We have to make sure that the information is going to be added. We have to make sure that the information is going to be added. Let me click on schedule again. It will ask me for interviews again. And start time, nothing duration is mine. Click on. And I'll click on submit. Let me go into the inbox again. Schedule interview, schedule interview. Now manage interview, feedback by recruiter. I need to reassign again. Are there any inbox item for your Gmail? Just previous. I think we have to set up. Maybe in the next class we can set up some notifications. We need to. These are the possible recruiting admin. Let me go to Steve Morgan. And now I need to. Manage interview feedback. In, you cancel interview feedback. Let me just submit it and see. The request submit. Participant control for interview is completed. This is a notification kind of a thing came to the inbox of the person reassigned. Process by background process. If I click on this job application, make interview decision. Logan has to do it. There would have been one. This iPhone project launch date email from director. Some system generated notification which might have gone then. Dated by again. What does it show? These show the stages or what the thing you would. These are basically the email communication which went to the candidate. Otherwise, he could see the active job application here itself and he could have done it. Here, I would go later. Thank you. I was looking into this task of the change of VP will trigger if we are doing any of these changes. Like transfer, move to another manager promotion. Then we don't have to go through this job application. Maybe it's a different task then. It is a different task. I'm telling you the type of change of contingent worker. Wait a minute. I think contingent worker will also be already in the system. We will see some job opening. Thank you. This time. This is like you're going to hire him and it will lead to triggering of this BP only. Like how we have hire task. No. Similarly, we have contract contingent worker BP also. If I'm selecting anything, I will be here. Position, contract details, working time. This is something different. It is not getting triggered from recruitment. It is from HCM only. It is a staffing BP contract contingent worker. I need to find out a test scenario where this BP will get triggered. It's not getting triggered. When do you have to convert? I think it's supervised organization. There is a task. Then what was it? I think I remember. In staffing, there should be a task convert contingent worker to employee. Not here like stopping action. Anyhow, I'll look into it later. Maybe try to find us. No, but it's we need to check on that. I told you no background check you included. Next possible step. As hire that go, add your change of hire, convert to employer and contract contingent worker. If we are doing like this will trigger to through recruitment only if like there's an opening for a contract. There's a contract opening and anybody outside like he applies for that and he knows that he would be a contractual worker. In that case, this BP will get triggered from recruitment, even though it's Hansium BP like how hire employee. This is also Hansium staffing BP only, but it is getting triggered from recruitment. We need to check. Convert to employee. Hire P has a lot of steps. These steps takes out of outside of the job application BP, right? It just trigger hire. And then I'm saying now our work stocks as soon as we trigger the ready for hire. This is basically ready for hire. It is hire right now. The ready for hire BP will get triggered and then once we complete that BP, no. It will lead to triggering of any one of the people. This is then the work of having people. Once we are doing end, to in testing like B, people would be just selecting the candidates to ready for hire, completing their ready for hire BP, and that's it. Then whatever BP are getting triggered, we are not sure we don't care about those steps. There's the task as well. Like a manually hired employee. I was telling you the scenario in which the job requisition has an issue that hire BP wasn't triggering. The recruiter. He went there, he used the task, hired employee, and then he finally, but that was from Hasim, that hiring is from Hasim, right? He was a recruiter. Actually, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, like, even if we can have recruiter security group involved in the hire BP as well. I'm talking about from the point of view of recruitment consultants, recruitment of the consultants. Our work is still ready for hire. We don't look into the BPs of these hire and whatever. But yes, recruiter security group could be part of hire definitely. And one more thing, like a job requisition always has to open when we want to hire. We cannot use at same time the same job requisition until we hire the person and it's this become vacant and available to next person to hire on the same job. Rack, it is available. The only thing is we have to look into the number of openings for that job break. Like I read them, I always see the open, close something, always yes, the closed one. They are like temporarily closed. They are not available for hire. Definitely we should have the status open and in that number of openings should be there. Let's suppose taking a scenario if a person is going to be terminated, definitely like we have to look into the job break for replacement of that person. Right? We can create a job break in that case. Or we can edit the job break in that case with the reason that it is for replacement or it is being created for terminated employee. In that case, what will happen? We can include in the termination beat the step edit job break. Once the person is getting out of the system. At the same time, we are also looking into the job break, the new job opening, which we will post again, and then we again will do the hiring. Now will we go through all the scenario like when we edit job break, chain and change job break. I could understand clearly maybe later. Right now edit job break is totally different. It is something like you mentioned on. It is when like the opening got filled and again we want to open that job break with one more position. In that case, edit job break BP will get triggered and in that we will also have the post job again. It would be similar to how job break wait. Right now, it is very simple, doesn't have it. Steps, job requisition, additional data. And if I look in the task edit job break, it is open. Likewise, I could search for closed one. It is open. Likewise, I could search for closed one. It is open. You can see the job break will not get triggered. Edit job break. BP will trigger. But if I'm looking into open, since it's open, that's why it's not allowing me to edit the number of openings. The reason could be that you can do the testing for, but let's look into the your interview. BP was about to trigger. Now, let me just check your interview. Here you have a given scheduled interview. Manage and make interview decision. You have not included rate interview. In this case, what will happen? There won't be any step triggered to rate. Provide the rating. It's a mandatory step. We have to edit. We should add it, otherwise, like how the rating would be given. I just copied the default definition. I don't think it, but that is how we get to know things. A B schedule interview, then followed by rating. I would say let me be a, then EF. Now, since your BP has already been triggered, I need to help. It will go to employ yourself like they would be the interviewers. Employ yourself is the interview. It's not like any random employee in the system would be able to rate. Now, if I click on, you'll see a workday on a condition people. What was this? Configure. Participation is for both interviewer and interviewed. Both this one, what it will do, share participation. It will lead to triggering of two inbox items. One will go to recruiter over here, and another one will go to the workers, the candidates. What will happen? The candidate will give their feedback about the panel or how the interview went. Was it tough or easy? Whatever. And once the candidate submits his feedback, now then recruiter will submit this particular task, which he got parallelly along with that candidate does, to the candidate, and he will say, I got all the feedback from the candidates. Now I'll submit this, and now manager will make the decision, and manager can then run reports, or he could go to the job rec and compare the interview ratings and then take forward the candidate accordingly. Do you have to configure some A form rate for the form rate for the rating. We should have. No, we don't like. We already have the task prepared by Workday, and we just have to maintain the ratings, interview ratings. That's it. Maintain feedback rating. Highly recommended. Recommended with reservations. Do not recommend. Currently, like I don't have the access to edit it. But we can add more as well. Here I went to the inbox. Now I have one reassigned task. Or you went to the, it get approved, went to the next stage. It went to reference check. But those steps were or needs to be reassigned. I'll just click here, related. Oh, sorry, it was reference check. No, wait, I'll assign you to no one. And I can make this person move forward. Or I could delegate reassign new detail. Have you not included any step in your reference VP? Can you check that once? Or let me check, it was it. You have not included any step. That's why it's only triggering directly this particular step. I think there's nothing more also to look into. I can move him to offer background check or hire. Let me move him to offer. There's some stuff which are mandatory. I have to add those stuff. That was the decision making. Now the offer is getting initiated. We will have this initiate offer task. I'll mention the hire date, location, document, language, job profile, business title, working type. Next compensation, primary compensation, basis guidelines, salary, and all these. If I need to add, I can as a recruiter. Then one-time payment stock grant. That's why when we were creating the offer, we know Workday was definitely asking us to include steps related to one-time and stock round. Otherwise, it was giving us an error. Yes, I'll just submit it. I have these guidelines salary, early period unit, all these things. I'll approve it. I'll click on new details again. This has been done. This has been done. This was the proposed comps. Now let me check the overall job application and see where offer BP stands. Generate document. It needs to be re-signed. I'll re-sign it. I think it was generate also. But it's regenerate. Take me look into awesome. I'll resign. Click on now, you could see. Now you could see that we have the document details getting populated. It is coming from the document which we have configured on our step. In that we have included the offer template, if you remember. Over here, I had the high candidate name. It is fetching it automatically. Then the text after, followed by dynamic fields, start location, salary, and at the end we have global, modern services. And again the date. I think this is the issue date or the date of today, whatever. Then who is it for? And then again, like it is fetching the dynamic data automatically, and the static one is also getting comfortable. Any doubt here? Now just the salary is empty. We have to. We can manually add it. Right now, like it is getting fetched. Definitely we have to make sure that we are adding the salary as well. We have not added salary during our initiate offer. No, that's why, like, if you want to cancel it, it will cancel the whole job application process and we cannot send it back. I feel the whole job application, not the offer, will be in the whole job application, your whole job application. We have to make sure that we are looking into offer, initiating the offer very carefully. Is it for same for all the business process stuff or this is only for offer? If we cancel it, it goes all the way like resigned it. It is for each and every step of the job application substages. We cancel it and it goes back, roll back. We have certain substages tasks wherein send back button is available. Only for those, we can send it back to the previous step. Otherwise, it will cancel all the job application review of our phone screen, all those steps. What happens? We again have to trigger the job application. In that case, do we have to send the job post again? Something now. Or like we again like look into the job application, we again need to apply. I would say you need to reapply it. If it's recruiter, he has to, like he accidentally, this happened all the time, a recruiter accidentally touched something and then he has to again create a job application again manually and then it triggers the job application. This happens. But for offer, like we have the send back button available to the candidate. Like if he doesn't like the offer letter, he can send it back and then we can regenerate the offer. Here we don't have. But let me go into payback now. I'll click on the job application. See here we have a waiting integration response. Integration needs to be set up that a doc could be sent for reviewing to the candidate. If I open the candidate here, we have not done on that part. There won't be any integration and there won't be any communication. If there was some candidate home account or if we had the credentials, where should we can log in into Workday here and look into the inbox item. Then we could have seen this regenerate or not regenerate review document. Step over there. This is a candidate home. Right, there's a candidate portal. How we communicate. This is the profile of the candidate which we can see as a recruiter. Even the candidate would also be able to see. If I click on logins, this is her profile which she is saying. But if the candidate has not applied externally, like it was created by recruiter, his job application, then we should give a temporary password where they can log in into Workday and see the inbox items and see their profile as well. This is the candidate can see this part, but we can. Recruiter also can see because they have to take action. Definitely recruiter has the access to see the arm. That's funny. And if you want to directly to any job stages where we want to see or where the overall process stand, and we have to click on action, active job application action, and then on that case we have to look into job end. I'll go to candidate. I'll go to the offer stage and see the list of people in the offer. We have one and I can move forward this person. How can we just see the steps from here automatically? Is there any way we can see the steps where we stand in the offer? We think from here, for that we have to go to the profile or we have to go into the inbox and look at the history of the process. There's no way we can see overall process where we stand. I think I saw here. No, we can see it right. I just need to go into the inbox and I'll click on archive. I'll go to this overall process and from here I could see what is the next step, and I could also go here and click on remaining process. These are the processes for the offer between which are due. Because sometimes the client or the user have issue that they skip or miss a step in any stage and then they want us to because I have then you have to tell them. Then you have to tell them go to your archive and see the history of that overall process. They will see. Next, they're not able to correct or resign. They come to us and then I have to manually correct. I go to job application view there. It could be the case that it is not allowed. Candidates don't have that security that where they can cancel or resign recruiter. They just mess up some stages and then they say I can move the candidate to the next day and then they don't have security to correct or change sometimes. They accept. I'm not a recruiter. I don't have access to. I can log in as a recruiter in the sandbox, but not in a production. I was looking at what's the best way to quickly go to the task and fix it, correct or sign it. I think you said go to the job application overall process, right? That way recruiter can see, and there's some tabs on job application. If you go to the next, let's see where were we? Job application. No, the funnel is like that is the job break, the break. If I open this, here it is. If I click on candidates, Workday provides us this calculation as well, that what is the average time and stage. This is a report. Like there are 9 items. How many recruiter took how much time to move candidate from review, like how much time the candidate was in review or in phone screen. This is another way. Then recruiter call backlist, wherein like recruiter has to call them, then compare candidate assessment. Once the assessments goes and everything are loaded into Workday from third party, or they are assessed properly. These details provide the option for the comparison purpose. We'll have each record for each candidate here, and the recruiter can simply come here and put a filter, like he can take the export and he can put a filter that who's 400, they can just move them forward quickly. This is something which is coming from Workday only. Workday calculates the rating on the basis of assessment and interview, feedback, and everything. This is the report. Currently, we have 3 people, Logan, Asma, and Shordi. And these are their comparisons, their rankings. They currently have red mark. I don't think they have good. They have 0 rating right now. That's why they have these red color marks. Even this particular candidate ranking report could also be, I think, configured. We have Analytics Builder. This is more into the reporting field. We have Analytic Builder wherein we can change the color. Like if the person got 5 rating, it could be green color. If he got 2 or 3 rating, it could be yellow color. We have the report wherein we can build the analytic builders, and this is a report just for comparison, and these are top tags are like the above. These when the overview is like overview of the job graph, right? Overview of the funnel candidate by source, then candidates. Then the details about the job rec. Which are organizations are connected to this particular job rec. Then the qualification needed job post info. If I click on candidate and go to offer and click on offer and click here, from here, like I can move him to background check on hire. Let me look into hire right now and click on ready for hire BP will get triggered and all 3 of them are in a higher stage now. I look into the inbox. This is the higher BP getting triggered from recruitment. We have these reasons positions, similar kind of tasks we see for the hire as well. Right? It's just the same. Revise employee hire. Click on Submit Recruiters. Submit this task and then recruit our manager. Anybody can submit it to the local. It was submitted by Noble. Now it is initiated from. We could see it does mention also. If I look into the process, see here, ready for hire got triggered. It was automatically completed and staffing action was not needed because Workday knew that this is a person who is getting hired for the first time. Workday is not giving the option to select what kind of sub VPs the builder ready for hire to go like, whether it would be a job change job or what. Workday will not give that option automatically. Workday was giving us the revise a hire task in the system. If we go to archive and there were two options to correct or resign, correct is like it will not lead to canceling or sending of the whole job application. It will just make changes on the hire over here. That's it. If I look into the overall process, it was submitted by Logan itself. We don't have to take any step. We don't have to do anything here in this state. No, no, not right now. If I look into Shruti, she is now an employee. She is hired. She is hired. Oh, the hiring steps. They automatically completed for. Maybe there's no step, only any sessions there. I don't know. Over here, like we saw on our revise hire, that particular step got triggered from here itself. Similarly, change of could also trigger from here. This was the only hire step, needed this revise hire, and it led to making the Shruti as an employee. That's it. We don't have to click on these character assign unless we want to resign it. If you want to resign it, and if you want to correct it. Otherwise, we don't have to take any action in this. We're ready to do. These are the higher BPs, which are standalone, which are getting triggered from higher employee tasks. But this one is different. If I see the process, let me see the definition for this. We just have this particular initiation stem. That's what I was saying. It doesn't have any steps. And you created higher file for support, is it? I think you have created. Otherwise, we could also have got onboarding related steps as well. Simple also maintain health text. I think I got a ticket for it. We're just checking if you can tell me that's what. I'm gonna maintain the text. It's one of the step in the business process. Let me open job application. Let me randomly load any hire. You could include onboarding steps also. Right for the hire BP. Otherwise, like we also need onboarding now, we don't want employee to be hired just without any onboarding steps. We can make refinement for the hire for our support as well. The hire should have onboarding it in a separate beep now, or we can end onboarding step within hire BP. The one which got triggered for us was this hire. Yes, but there should be some onboarding step. I agree. This was the one which you created, and it only had one initiation step. But if I go here, I could also include onboarding related step for this hire beep of mine, that when the hiring is getting done from recruitment, it also includes onboarding. We don't have to configure separate onboarding beep. No, we include it here itself. This would be taken care by the head sim people. Me, this higher BP configuration, but they definitely include onboarding also. Onboarding and onboarding step. If you would have not created hire for alpha, it would have led to triggering of the default definition. Hire, yes. Now let me open your job break and see the ones which you hired. Are they yet the employees or not? Oh, we didn't see that. This is the position. Now over here and look into the job break. Where's the job break? Where's the job break? Where's the job break? If I look at Asma Raj, he's still a candidate. He has in progress hire step. You need to look into the inbox of Logan whether the hire step is completed, and only then he will become candidate. If I open the profile for Shruti set, let's see how it is looking. She's also visible as this. Why? If you search her name, that might be alright, right? Which is employee. Some page error. If I search for Asma, no, Asma is not yet in the system. You also need to see that the hire is getting properly triggered. What was your question? Let me open maybe job application because we don't have anything in the hire, I think. I'll scroll down now. I'll click on the related action. I'll go to business process and maintain step help text. For each step, we can have a help text. How help text will be visible? We can have a condition. When do we want this? And we can maintain the help text. And if I store, I'll go to the inbox item. It will come here as a statement at the top, just below this title of the inbox item. Just below this, you will get the instruction why it is used. Like just to. If for any step we have specific instruction we want to add, we thoroughly like have sessions with client. Maybe they want some information to be mentioned here for that step. In that case, they will ask us if we can include something. Or like if there's any guidance needed for filling in to this task or anything, then we can have it. We can include something that we can include in the next step. We can include a rule. If I go back, condition rule could be 1 is equal to yes or 1 is equal to 1. It will always trigger like 1 is I don't understand, sorry. I mean to say that a condition which will always be true. We have certain conditions like you could say that here we have these. Wait, we also have the option of creating the rules. Here we can include country related condition rules or if you want, always this help text to trigger. In that case, we have to include a condition rule which is always getting fulfilled, like if initiated as a manager or country is or something like that, or I just make a simple rule. If you can include like if job rec reason is not blank, or if salary is not blank, that always is true. Definitely we'll see this, and we have to add the help like instruction as well. Instructions we need to add. What is the scenario for you? Like, do you have to go to the text? No, right now. I did in the past. One of my colleagues did it actually. I just wanted to know. Next time they ask me, I should have some idea how to do it. You know about configure guided tools also. No, I don't think. Configure. Guided tool is for the task. Let me look into the task, create job rec. Right now, I have included these guided tools. Once we are looking into create job rec task, now we have these fields which we need to look into. We have to give certain details. I have put in here the help text. Let me up B now. I'll open the task. If I click on this question mark now for each of the field, I would see this question mark and I'll click here. It will give me some text. This is basically for task where we need some description. We need certain guidance on each of these fields. That is called guided tool. Help texts are on VPs. That is called guided tools. And guided tools are on task. There are majorly three types of referrals. One is the direct referral. Direct referral is something which a particular person or a recruiter would be creating in the system using these two tasks. We have two tasks of creating the referral. Create a referral is majorly for the recruiters or admin people. And referral candidate is for all the employees. You'll see a little bit difference in the task details, but both of them would lead to creation of a referral only. And one more thing, create a referral won't lead to triggering of any BP, whereas refer a candidate would lead to triggering of BP called refer candidate. Let's see how these tasks look like. This is how the form looks like. Over here, we have to mention explicitly the owner. Who would be the owner of this refer? Like this is a task where we can also create a referral on somebody else's behalf as well. I could define the person here. Let me keep it scattered. Like this person would be getting the referral amount, one-time payment referral, which we have added on our job. Then for which country we are going to refer, like the candidate is from which country. Then if I scroll down, you'll see that the details are just similar to how when you're creating the job application or when an external candidate sees the job application's detail. Those are the just same ones over here as well. A phone device type. Let me click it mobile. It's not mandatory, let's just remove it. Second task, refer a candidate, is for the employees only. We'll see that the ownership would be automatically given to the person who is looking into that task here. You saw right, we have to give it the ownership explicitly. This could be the admin task used by recruiters or hiring manager or even the admins. Then I have to mention the jobs definitely. I could refer him for multiple openings. And I can define the job areas like the profiles like C++ or Java or NET. These are the ones maintaining the system. But most of the time I'm not seeing this job area field used. Even when I've implemented, they don't look into this job area. They're just concerned about these jobs, which is the job break. Then what is the relationship? We can maintain the relationships for referral as well. We have a task, maintain refer state relationship. These are coming from there. I can select anything of my choice. And then candidate agrees to be referred. This is coming from Workday. Then any website, like for example for the profiles of Java, Python or C++, right? In that case, it is expected that the candidate has created certain sites, or he has some pages where he could put over here, which will show his work. It could be a PDF or PDF URL also, which he has uploaded somewhere, but any research paper, anything, he has to provide the URL for that we can define. Then reference social media link. What would the candidate's LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook? Then the details are just the same, the experience, cover letter, and other documents. This is not the certification, not the document. This is basically your work somewhere on Google or somewhere on cloud or any platform which is either published or you have created it, which is in runnable format. You can share that URL address over here that the recruiter can see. He has prepared this also. He has done this project also. Anything, any detail about the project or anything the URL for that should be given here. It's not simply a PDF. It could be a PDF. It could be a research paper which the person has created. But it should be uploaded somewhere because we are only going to put the URL address. You can see the website also. On which website it is present also. Then we can define the experience education. It's mandatory. And let me click on and see which all fields are mandatory. Nothing is mandatory. A referral profile has been created. He would also be considered as he would be given a candidate ID. For our prospect also, he was given a candidate ID, right? Now see, even though the person was referred for something else, still the recruiter has the ability to create job application for something else. It could be a case that the job break to which he was tagged during referral, maybe it got expired or it was unposted or closed. And a new job break has been created in the system. The recruiter should have the ability to attach all of the job breaks in the system. That's why I'm just attaching this. Then how would you like to fill out this job app? Manually pass information from a resume seeker. You know this is the concept of resume passing. Workday provides this feature automatically on certain tasks. And we will see which all tasks are there. But just remember, resume parsing is a concept where Workday fetches the value from the resume of a person. And the values are like first name, last name, email ID, school Workday, all those things. The general ones, I'll click on. And the source does automatically attach referred by. The ownership was given to this person. It is coming here. Then again, the job application details will be passed. Let me click on it and see. I need to provide the certification. In country certification issued data, all these. Now on his profile, you could see that a job application has been created. If I go and see this job break, I would be able to see my candidate but with a description that it's a reference. That is how it could be distinguished. And the rest of the process is just the same, or we have seen. Now let's talk about the second task. We saw that it didn't relate to triggering of any BP. The other one, this is the one used by the employee. Referred by is already coming up. We have to define first name. We can define all these things. We could see that there's some change in the task. It is asking us less detail. Then the relationship is the same. And you can define the referral address and referral social media links. It doesn't ask us for the URL nothing. Experience. But you could see it has a submit button. It will lead to triggering also BP. Let me open the I need to create the referral. The referral candidate is the one I could copy default. It doesn't have many steps. I'll show you which ones are there. It only has review referral candidate. That's it. And it could be done by the recruiter or hiring. It's done by the recruiter. Means recruiter will see what are the details are certain for this candidate. We cannot see this candidate ourselves. Since I have taken some other job, right, which might not be tagged to my supervised reorg, it might lead to triggering of some other POPs BP or the default definition. But I wanted to show you that is the one which gets triggered. Some job or job area should find, but raise the option for that. I think I need to log in as somebody. Let me log in as Logan. If I cannot see job areas, I think we have mentioned that. You know that it's a complete questionnaire. It might be this job, might be tied to some other support, and that might have triggered. We can add question is step as well. You know right how to include question is step in a BP, complete question is step, and then just come to the question. By confirming, I mean just attached to question. Then it has, I need to reassign it. In order to reassign, since one of the steps was not reassign, not assignments, user group was assigned to that security group. That's why it is coming as reassign it. You know the concept of reassignment, right? That is how, like, we can create our referral with this task. And then again, the recruiter would create the job app and use this referral and include him in the job application. This is referral set up as of now. This is for direct referral. The second type of referral is just the opposite of direct referral. What will happen here? When the external candidate is filling in the job application on external career site, or let's suppose he was invited to apply. On filling in the job application, there would be a question. We can add that, do you know anybody who is there in the company right now? Any existing employee? If a person puts up any detail, like any email ID or the employee ID or anything, or even the full name, then what will happen? And he clicks on the job application submit button. What will happen? Or request will go to that existing worker that somebody has said that they know you. Would you like to endorse that person? And if that existing employee accepts that request of endorsement, then it will lead to triggering of a VP endorsed candidate. Endorsement is just opposite of referral. In referral, the existing people are referring somebody else, whereas in endorsement, external candidate is asking existing people to please put the referral for me. This concept is called endorsement. How we can do the setup for that is very simple. In any one of the job application or substages. Let me hear, if let's suppose I add one step, it could be an action. Then in action, send endorsement request. What will happen? Once the screen VP gets triggered for that candidate who has said that I know somebody, and when the steps get triggered, employee has said, like the person whose name is given, like he would get a request, that somebody has asked for endorsement. And if he approves it, if he approves the steps, then what will happen? It will lead to triggering of endorse VP. I'll create that code. Again, it doesn't have much steps. It only has this. And again, like a request would be sent to an employee that please give your approval for endorsing this candidate. Employee or self or content do not work as both of them could get it. When that steps get triggered and approval is given, we can also include over their recruiter or hiring manager, like they will lead to triggering of endorse VP. If they click submit on that step, it will lead to triggering of endorse VP. That is the main motive of that particular step. To trigger the endorse VP, and then in endorse VP, the existing employer will give the endorsement when he wants. Endorsement. Like I have not seen many lines using it, but this is a feature we can tell them. Then the third type of social media reference. What will happen? It's just the job. URL would be posted by the employees on this social media. A lot of time we have seen on LinkedIn, Facebook, people posting the URL that you can apply over here or you can like click on this and we would create a referral or something like that. That is just simply sharing our URL. But this is also a referral type only. The ownership would be given to the person. These are the domains related to reference. And we also need to do a setup and edit and set up recruiting tasks, if you remember. What happens when the person is filling in the job app? And if, let's suppose, he says, yes, I know somebody in the system and gives him the detail, then this step would get triggered, otherwise it will not trigger. And once this gets triggered, and recruiters complete the step, it will lead to triggering of endorse people. Generally, like what happens, we just create the reference. Like in my company, Workday is implemented. I've just created the reference. The recruiters will see the list of all the reference and then they will pick out the best one and create the job application for them. This is how, like an existing employer doesn't create the job app also for that because he is not the one who is going to decide whether he should be moved forward or not. Recruiter takes care of that. Even this create job application, this access is not given to everybody in the system. It is only given to admin, hiring manager, recruiters mainly. Edit and set up recruiting here. We have certain fields related to referral setup. We have this referred ownership level. These are the two ways of giving the ownership. Let me explain using an Excel. Because this is a very important field. Let's suppose we have all candidate A. And let's suppose Shilpa has referred him for CT Passer profile. Then Shweta has referred him for Java. And Sabar has referred him for Python. Let's suppose they were referred in this order. Let's suppose he got selected for Java. He got selected for Java. If we would have selected candidate level, then the ownership would still be given to Shilpa, like its first term, first serve basis. Whereas if you're talking about Java application, then Shweta would have got the ownership. Like it is on the basis of Java application, we are giving the ownership, and this is on the basis of the candidate. Like we are giving preference to the candidate who has given us the details first. If we are selecting here in the edit and set up candidate level, then Shilpa would be getting. And if you're selecting Java application level, then Shweta would be getting. These are important from interview perspective also. Then we can define the referral ownership period, like for how long the ownership would be given. And then let's suppose if there are multiple records for the reference, like if for the same job a person has been referred already, and if somebody else is also referring him, and then Workday will give us an error based on this particular policy. These are Workday delivered policies. You can just discuss with the client and select it. Prevent referral. If candidate already applied for the job rec, then prevent referral if there's a potential duplicate prospect for the same job rec. Prevent referral if this person already exists for any job rec or area. We can also like if he has been there in the system for some other job rec, then also Workday can prevent. Then we can prevent the referral if candidate has a duplicate referral with an active owner. Like he is simply being referred again and he already has an active owner in the system. What is how this would trigger? Then what would be the duplicate referral message? This is given here. Then enable automatic candidate merging. This is a concept we'll see in candidates. But these are the major fields related to referral on this task. Referral ownership type and period. Duplicate referral policy were employed. Then we can maintain the referral relationships. And then there are two major BPs related to referral. One is a one-time payment referral for one-time payment for referral. This we can include on our offer BP. We can also include it in higher BP as well. We could trigger the referral amount in both these stages. Generally, in higher BP itself it is included. And then referral candidate. This is definitely needed. These are the tasks. Then we can also invite referrals to apply. That could also occur. How that could occur? I'll just go to the profile of the person whom I referred just now. on this particular profile. I click on Actions, then Candidates Action and Invite to Apply. If I click here, it will give me a prompt kind of a task. Then I have to define the job posting, like where this job is posted on the external career site. That link would be given. Then any job application template that also I can mention here. Then what would be the contact method and what would be the message template? Message template is majorly for the notifications. And these are the contact methods for the notification, email, and mobile push. And also, like, I could send him an email with this subject body and from display name, like the email address is this, but we can define the subject over here, like from where it is coming. And if, let's suppose, we want to give the feature of allowing the candidate to reply also, then to which email address we can give this functionality for. Then push notification. If it is enabled in the tenant, then this will be the message going in. And if there's any document needed to, we can. That is how we can invite to apply. There's another way also of inviting the candidates to apply. And that is like, from the related action menu of Referrer Candidate B, we can select Business Process and Notification. Then the recipient, like you have done the setup for notification, right? On VPs, you should know about notification. It's a very important concept. And just go to Related Actions, Business Process, add notification. Here you are going to define when this notification would get triggered. Like it would depend upon, let's say, the referrer candidate has been completed, cancelled, corrected, denied, manually advanced in any of these stages, or on entry of any step, or on completion of any step, or on ad hoc approval. That is how we can define the triggering point for notification. Then if you want any conditions which will allow this notification to trigger, we can. Then who would be the recipient? Do we want to include proper users? Or do we want to make this notification trigger to security folks? And we can also define the email address explicitly, and we can define the message content and the body. And this is the subject and this is the body. If notification should go to manager, it means that like you can configure on the job application B the notification by keeping groups as manager that an existing employee. In the body you can define an existing employee has applied for this job break. It can go to manager, and let's suppose I'm logged in as Carol right now. And if I create job application, I first need to create my prospect in the system. I need to create prospect, and if I cancel it, and if I try to search by Carol's name, because I think it doesn't allow you to add pre-hires. It only allows you to add prospect. This is an internal person. To effect, click on this. There's a candidate only, but he's an internal one. like he is currently like part of this job. But still his profile has been created, like if I create. See create from existing workers. This is an option. I could just include Carol, but we definitely have to create the prospect. Even if the candidate is referrer or internal or external, it doesn't matter. The same job application BP gets reported. Here you can define the role. That of candidate is internal. Like these are the ones which I've created previously. You can take the hint. Like this is how it looks like. Job application sources, internal or existing employee. And then it could go to manager. And at the bottom you have to mention the subject and the body. Click here. I can apply here as well. Ready. Automatically, the details are coming in. Workday is fetching the details for Carol over here. Also, I was applying direct. Here, it won't trigger. If you click on submit now, and if that job application BP gets triggered, then the notification could be triggered and it will go to manager. There are two ways of internal applications being triggered. We have to select the candidates accordingly. What you can do, just search for contingent worker. And this is done, and like how to search for contingent worker. Just search find worker. and you could see the employee type. No, sorry. Would be the worker type. And just make him apply to any one of your job recs and make him go through the job application stages. And then see how, on triggering the ready for hire BP and completing it, what all BPs will get triggered. Correction occurs when, like, if let's suppose we have a completed process and still we want to correct it. We want to correct a particular detail on that particular task. But if you're sending it, it means the completed task would complete it. Whole event would be cancelled out. Right? What is the difference between cancelled, rescind, and correct? It only concerns about that particular inbox item on which you're doing the correction and cancel. Cancel is like the whole event would be again cancelled. But it should be in progress. It could not have successfully completed state. We are going to send it back a particular task to somebody or to some other security. For example, in our first stage, we were having the option where the candidate would send back the offer to the recruiter. Those send back buttons are not available on each and every inbox items. Those are configured through Workday only. Understand option. You will only be able to see once the event is completed, whereas cancel, you will be able to see for all in progress events. Even correct will also not be visible for every inbox item. They will make the event rollback and totally like unsuccessfully completed status. It would get, but the only difference is the event status to a particular task only. It won't affect any previous completed task. For 3 people are in higher stage. If I click on this, I could do this, but I need to go into the archive. Like if I click on the successfully completed, I can reset right. And if I click on in progress, I won't see the send, of course. Nothing is visible and it is like somebody has cancelled or something. Then again, if I click on it says, I could see the same here. Not correct. It depends upon what do you do, which option he wants to get. But the same would be there for all completed ones. And if I look on actions, and if I could, here is an option to submit. is there that I is there. They fall later and close. But deny and cancel is like not the same. We could correct it. Delegated reassign of you. It depends upon the task type. A proposed form is an important one. I wanted to show you. You can search like for any in progress item. It would be simply present at the right. This is the Finally I could see a cancel button. As a consultant, you should also be aware about this feature mass operation management. But this is a task which allows you to trigger a particular task in Work. It is majorly used by admins and managers, but we have very restricted types which we can trigger in Work. We can advance BP. This is related to talent. Then we can cancel BP in Work. We can cancel feedback request. Then we can reassign BP. If you want to do cancel reassign in Work, we could do that. We have to attach a report which will fetch in the details of all the audiences, like the employees on whom this mass operation will occur. We can define. If you want to mass cancel any event or want to resend any completed event, then like if you want to send any message to these people, to this particular candidate, we can do that. If you want to inform him about something or anything immediately or anything, a message could be sent to him. We have a lot of options on job grid as well. From here also, like we can add to pool, we can share this candidate invite to apply. Move to link. We will look into the evergreen requisition testing also later on, then move to another job break. That is also possible. Then copy to another job. Break means we want to like copy all the details and make this standard available on other jobs. Right now it is possible we can decline him from your move forward from here. We cannot create candidate home account right now. Otherwise, I would have shown you how, in the task, these messages and communication will look like. I'm saying, I'm saying that we don't have the candidate home account creation option right now. That's why I'm not able to show you any communication also. Otherwise, I could show you how the invite to apply message will come to him, or how send message will come, or how, if any task gets triggered and goes into the candidate home account, how it will look like. We have a task at the end setup notification. There are certain details we can give, then reminders, setting mobile. Then for each module, we have the option of doing the setup and recruiting a file. Then what would be the routing rule and everything. This is more of HCM concept. And I won't go into this because you might get confused. Let's see. We can edit job from here. We could close your break from here. Then we can manage job requisition phase. From here we can do all these things and it will lead to triggering of these PPs also. What is the difference between closing and freezing? Closing is like temporary. We are closing means forever. We are going to close it. A freezing is like for timing, we are freezing it. We should not have any open positions. If, let's suppose, we are going to trigger it from the worker profile itself, then it would be done to change or be bin directly. That would be true. Like if I go here, and change business title, change job should also come. Maybe I'm logged in as Logan that way. Let me search for somebody else. This. All these features will lead to triggering of the HCM staffing VP only. But this would be like triggered from HCM perspective. Like if we are creating a prospect for this and then applying him to a job app and then including it in the job. Like for the promoted designation. In that case, it would be done to recruitment. Generally, these ones are done from HCM only. Only the hiring, the main hiring, it is done through recruitment. Like of the external candidates, referrals even the internal candidates also. Hire a VP and this hiring restriction set. And we can do that. It is generally taken care for confidential openings like recruiter can start the hiring using that as well. Hire task is used for hiring. We are going to present to the client these two options. It's their jobs. Generally the change of our job. They are called to HCMM only. And hiring the employee, whether he's internal, referral or external, it occurs through recruitment and converting the employee, converting contingent to employee. That also occurs through recruitment. And it is internal. Skip this step or something. Then set up a referral payment that we have already seen right when we are creating the job right now. We can attach the standard referral payment. And then we have to add just one-time payment for referral either step in any one of the job application stages. Then hire or require hide or require optional fields for referral. That is not an important slide, I would say. Then how to set up endorsement. I've told you, right? You need to add a step that you need to send the request and then endorse candidate BP that should be created. Today, I wanted to start with the agency users agency concept. You might have seen a lot of companies now hiring third party consulting firms or agencies to find out the candidates for them and give it to the organization. They are not responsible for executing the job, application BP. They are just responsible for searching out and for creating their job application. That could also be done and just giving it to the organization. Like a lot of hiring, like a lot of people approached me for different companies as an agency only. They can search for the candidate, create prospects, and submit the application on candidates we have, or they can invite them to apply. That is only their work. They're not responsible for looking out into the job application, BP. We can do the setup for agencies, like we can create an agency and they will have agency users. Agency users are like the recruiters, you can say, for that particular agency, who manages the agency. And the structure which we are going to see, it would be similar to the support structure. Like it could have superior and subordinate, and agencies will also have their own career site, and jobs could be posted over there on their agency career sites, and agency users would be notified that there's a job being posted. Like they are responsible for finding out the candidates for that job break. That kind of functionality could be set up in Workday. Let me just click here. This is the task. I can provide the description. And apart from description, I can define the type. We can maintain these agency types. We have tasks for that. It is very simple. Maintain recruiting agency types. Here we can add and we can inactivate also. I could select the type. Then if there's any superior agency we would like to tag it to, we can do that. Then we can define the contact details. We can define the career site configuration. In this task itself, we would be creating the career site as well. Here, like I would be giving the source as agency, then ownership period for how long this agency would be given the ownership fits in months. Then what would be the job posting template? Job posting template basically defines how when a person clicks on apply button, like if an invitation to apply is being sent by agency user to the candidate outside the system, then once you click on that link and it gets an apply, then how the job posting will look like to him. That is coming from this particular template. If I open it, if you remember, we have added it on our career site also. It defines like, it will give the summary text of job description. This is the default template. But if you want certain other template to come as per the condition rule, we can. If I open this template, this is how it looks like. Text, it could have external field. Again a text. Job posting template we are attaching, then we can link it to external career site as well. Like an agency, user can send the link of the job posted and that would navigate the candidate to the main website of main career site which we have created. We can link external career sites as well. Then do we want to allow confidential job posting? We can do that. We have seen confidential job. We don't post it normally anywhere but on the agency career site. What will happen? A normal candidate won't be able to see the agency career site. He only would be able to see the external career site. Agency career site is for the agency users only or for the agency recruiter admins. That is, another security group will look into. It is not visible to anybody, just like internal career site. It's not visible to external candidates. Only if a link is sent to them, they would directly be navigated to that particular job opening that's set. Then restrict it to location. If we want to restrict, like this agency would be responsible for these locations, we can define that. Then any terms and conditions. This terms and condition would be for the agency users only. When they are submitting a candidate's job application on candidate's behalf, they would have to accept these terms and conditions. A link could be mentioned here or any message could be mentioned here. It would ask for a checkbox and the agency user has to click that. Then does it require e-signature? We can include that as well. Like the agency requires e-signature. Agency user needs to give the e-signature. That would be mentioned. Then payout term, like how, what would be the rate set for the agency users here itself? It is the same. Do we want flat C or percentage? If you're calculating percentage, like it will have like 20%, 30%, like there's a budget, right? Financial budget, which comes and for each candidate, I think there is some budget allocated. We can define the percentage. Here we need to discuss with the finance people and they will let us know, or we can also define the flat fee like it would be 100 rupees and currency. Then contact also we can define, but let me just step it as of now. Then attachment, any attachment you can select it from. Let's see. Now this is my agency. This is the topmost one type. Apparently I don't have anybody, but you can see her now. A button has come in. To create the agency user, if I click on this, it's just like creating a recruiter. We will be managing agency. User will have its own set of credentials, which means that he will get his work. The account will be there like how all of the rest of the managers, recruiters, primary recruiter. They have their own login credentials. They log in into work. Similarly, for Gens users also an account must be created. I don't know if in this tenant we have that option of creating the Workday accounts. We'll see how it goes. Create reporting agency user. This is the Gens he will be back to. Then what is his country? All these details and contact information about the user. And what will be the time? I think we have to define. Visibility should be public. Then use for billing or shipping. We can define the then social network of the Gens user. We can mention on any other additional attachment. Let me click on that. If I go on the agency, I could see this user now. I can create a number of Gens users. This is the career site. The name of the career site would be this only by default and payout term additional data. Now let me create another agency. And then we have to create a user. We have to give them the Workday account. Right. If I click here, that is how we create the Workday profile, security profile. And here you could see this is getting. It is not visible. Click here. A secret grid where they don't. Even if I search for the task, let me see. I saw it came with games here. From here I'll see it is getting refreshed and effect. Click on. It does not come in. But don't worry, I have a PPT of screenshots where you will be able to see how when our agency users logs in through his credentials. How does UI looks like? I have the PPT right now. Wait, do you have in your system agency set up right now? We do have it. Once they create a new agency, and sometimes they request the agency user created as a user, then we are to add the name of the user agency to maintain user agency task. Add their name and then assign users. What we do is we go there, click on Edit Workday Account, and then Generate Random Password. I'm happy, like you are aware about this. Every client now wants this setup. It's a very important setup. You can create the subordinate also. I think from here, not from here. You can create from there. We can have a different type. Also period. Let me click on and see the errors. The career site is mandatory. The field job posting template, and it means career site is always important. I could see that it has a superior. Now I can create it on individual agency users. Now if you post any job of yours, you will be able to see this career site. This one was yours, right? I could now see my jobs. Career site. These postings would be visible to the user only. It won't be, I think, visible on the agency user. But let me check. Now it has the post. Job VP has triggered. No worries. Let me quickly complete. I could see these job postings. Quite flexible. This is how the job is looking like. This is coming from the job posting template. And only agency user will be able to see it unless they. Right now, Logan has a lot of access. That's why, like, she's able to also submit the candidates on agency's behalf. She should not. List of applications for this posting. Like this is Logan who was looking into this. No, I think these new applications are for this director profile. List of all the postings for this profile. All of them are getting visible here. I could submit candidate. See, these are the terms and condition I told you alone. It was popping up a message here. And if I click on now new candidate, existing candidate, this particular task agency user would be looking into. It's not right that Logan has the access. I can include this. There are now, I need to create new candidate. Submit candidate would lead to triggering or submit VP or submit candidate. We have to make sure this VP is created. This is a separate VP submit candidate. This is related to agency only. Submit candidate is the name of the VPN. We have to make sure that this is configured in the system. Like if an agency user is submitting the candidate, which all approvals we want, before like the candidate enters the job application grid. We want recruiter hiring manager of the company to look into the candidate first. In that such kind of approvals could bring you over and submit can be. It might go on the song. This is the default submit candidate VP. There's a step of approval. These are the things which would be visible. Since I opened on that pop-up now. That's why it's giving me the task directly. Otherwise, I could have gone to the logins account also, and in the inbox, it would look a bit different. I could send it back. I could add more approvals here, and I could deny or I could cancel it. Cancel means the full tangent profile would be cancelled, and then I would be just particular approval I'm going to deny, but the candidate won't be out of the system. I could add more send backup rules. The event is completed. Let me open the job break again. Once the Submit Candidate Job Application VP should trigger. Exactly. We'll see if in the job break he is visible. Yes, we see one in review. Let's use the one. We could see it. Now, like this particular step is re-signed, but he is there and we could see the source also. Current title, all these things, his experience, his contact, all the details. At one side. Here that the work of the user is done now. If I open this, let's open this internal. Here I could see the posting is looking a bit different because this is an internal poster and we cannot see submit candidate option here, right? But we can refer definitely, and here the text is also different. If I go back, this is the difference between this due to the difference between of the job posting templates. And if I click here, this is looking different because we have attached different posting templates in both of them. This is for agency users. Agency user, and over here it will look different. Even if I click it, it will not take me. This like looking in the world itself, but I think it will not load anything. It's much. Candidates for your support. Which one is yours? Like that is not here. Why is it not coming? Can we directly create? Like create business process definition. We can create a few. Submit recruiting agency candidate. This is the name. Submit recruiting agency candidate. Fine. This is for the default definition. We have to go to the support. Why is it not? If you can copy the name, like it should come. We have the solution concept. If we want to do the migration, create solution, save and migrate or save and publish. What does happen? Save and publish, but save and publish. I think it will occur in this tenant only. Whatever updates we are making, the configuration and publishing is required on that content. Then it will be activated. I need to check why like this VP is not getting created for support. Is it like it should only be a default definition or something like that? I need to check. Your as and default still should be able to copy. If you can, from the related access. If you try to copy, let's see if you can copy for our organization. Business form checked. Like I think I'm being silly. I just forgot. For like the job breaks, they're tied to supervise you all. But when we are looking into the agencies, right? The agency users will have the access to those agencies hierarchy. And they will see the submit candidate button, and then it would be the responsibility of the existing recruiter or whatever existing Workday systems responsibility to look into that. Maybe that's why they have taken the BP irrespective of the support, because there would be a lot of support on which the job would, to which the job would be posting on career sites of agencies. That's why they have not done it. But I'll confirm on this once again. We cannot add it to submit candidate because related to the agency. Maybe it's available on the source on our agency as well. If I go on. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I started recruiting because I bought this master package. It has different courses. I studied compensation and recruiting. I studied more during the interview they asked me to. They have a competition as a but somebody left day. Now they take a recording and you don't study at all. I have classes. I studied all them. If I think I should study more for the job, I could apply different things. But I feel like compensation tickets are more tough. Because like the one you get taught on trainings, it is nothing, it is just 5%, but in recruiting you are still able to analyze what would be there in the project also. But for compensation the actual things are not taught, I feel. Let's go through the PPT quickly. These are the gens, these are the terms. We have find the gens reports and the tenant for this, like how we have find job report standard. One note: simply find the gens jobs report. Also, the users would be able to see, and the admin level, people in the organization who have the access to this report will always be able to see. It looks just similar to how find job looks. It has facets. It has the same UI. Nothing different. Then recruiting agency management, for here are certain advantages of subscribing to agency management. You can read this out. And then these are the domains. Then we need to look into these setups before, like related to security, because we would be required to create the passwords and accounts for the agency users. And these should be set. Then we also we can also create segment based security group with this work delivered segment. Candidates are recruiting agency questionnaires. If you want any security group in the system to have access to the responses given to the agency questionnaires by the candidate, then we need to give access to this domain. Then BP policy changes. Basically, these two BPs are looked into related to the agency. One is the create Workday account, which is not working here. Another one is submit reporting agency. That is what we have seen. Then these are certain standard reports related to agency. This is how a typical submit candidate BP looks like. It has a step where it will go to HR admin, recruiter or hiring manager to review the candidate submitted by a Gen C. Then if there is any duplicate. Then you can also review the candidate duplicates as well. Then candidate review of agency submission. Like candidate should also be given a task or some information that these are the details that are set by agency for you. What will happen? Like agency is creating the job application on their behalf, but they will ask them to create candidate home account on external career site. That is why we link the external career site with that agency career site. That is how they will get the inbox item on their candidate home account. This is the Workday delivered security group the candidate is going to review. Then set up recruiting agencies and users. We saw how it could be done. Then, we can set up these worklets on the dashboards. These are the related tasks which we can include on the recruiting worklet. By now, you might be aware about dashboards. We have one dashboard and that we can include recruiting worklet and then recruiting worklet. We can include these tasks and reports. What happens, like how we have primary recruiter, which helps the recruiters in doing the similar kind of work. We can also create a security group for recruiting agency, admin. This is a role-based security group. It is created inside the Workday system. First, you need to create the assignable role, maintain assignable role, and enable it for agencies. Like how you have previously enabled for job break or supervised job, enable it for agency. Then create the role-based security group. Then you need to give the domain access as well to these particular domains. Activate the pending security changes. And then assign the recruiting agency admin role to an active recruiting agency user. Like you go to the agency and assign users over there. Assign this particular security group to the users. Let me see if they have created the roles. We go to this particular thing. Assign role, like right now. I don't think. I could have, like this, recruiting admins being created, and I can assign it to the agency users only. We have the recruiting agency admin nieces, assignable role. It's not assigned to the work. Like by default, the agency users who are there for the gents, you know they will be responsible. But if you want somebody else also in the system to be related to that agency, then we need to create that role first, and then we can assign any worker, any good person of the organization as that recruiting admin for the agency. These are the people in the system. It has to be employee of the company who can manage. Exactly. By job profiles we can. Here we could see all the people. This question here was there why we use this for before the. In the PowerPoint presentation, you show a questionnaire. Security agency question. This one candidate data recruiting agency question is what happens if you want to be recruiters or managers or any other security group to be given the access to see the responses of the questionnaires which agencies have asked from their candidates. Through the business process submit candidate. Like if we want to get the access to see the responses to any existing security group in the organization. Using this domain, we can do that. Previously, if you remember, we have seen the candidate segments where we can give managers the access to see the external job applications, details of the candidate, or to see the internal job application details, or even to see the questionnaires responses based on job application stages. Like job application tab segments. This segment will give access to all the job application details of the candidate. But the candidate is like external or an existing employee or contact general. That is the difference then. Questionnaire responses. Based on any substages of the job application. If I have the problem, we have this work. They deliver recruiting agency questionnaire also. It will give access to the manager or recruiter. First of all, the access to the questionnaires and what are the responses as well. We need to add in the domain also. If you're giving access in the second, after that we have to add the segment based security group in the domains. The domains are like these one is we can also have this recruiting agency admin goal given to any existing worker in the organization and they will be able to log in as well as the first. No, I don't think they would be able to log in. But this is how like we can do some kind of linkage between the organization through this particular role based security group and with the agency. Because when we create a new user for the agency, the organization has to create the Workday account for them. Somebody has to hold this role of recruiting agency admin. Yes, they like. There should be a person in the organization also with whom agency users can interact or some involvement of any organization security group should also be there. I feel right. Like in the Summit Candidate BPMO, now we can add this particular security group as well. We can add this as well. Then we can have like duplicates also for the candidates, right? Like same candidate is being applied multiple times for the same job opening. In that case, like the PC work defines out the duplicates in that case. What are the criteria? The first name, last name on the candidate is same. Along with this, any one of this work, they will fetch that this is a candidate which is already. The job application for him is already in progress. This is a duplicate. We won't accept it. What they give will get that error. Like this could be a kind of notification which is being sent. A condition rule also which is there, which would be set on any of the steps of Summit Recruiting Agency that we have a duplicate. Please don't go further. Then here's an activity which you can do using AIBS. I think in the system we would be able to create the work accounts for the agency users. I've given very detailed steps of how we can create. Have you worked on AIB till now? You know how to create the AI for agency users work the account. Also, we have an AIB and you can just type in the details on these columns and get the work, the account and bug created. This is highly used in projects. Then we can also enable automatic notifications for recruiting agency users, like whenever a job gets posted on the career site, on agency career site. Then we want agency users to be notified about that. How we can do that setup? I have these tasks included. You can go into these steps one by one and see how it looks like. When you create, also when you're creating their account note, then also a notification could be given to the users that your account has been created. And here's their username and random password for that also. Like this particular activity includes that feature also. Also, I have a peek. This is the recruiter, the organization recruiter Carmen Cortez. She's going to look into this job and post it on agency career site. She's going to post it. She will select a BC recruiting agency. Now she is logging in. Rodney Recruiter, like is also like the, you can say user agency users. They logged in and they saw these two worklets. They're able to see find agency jobs there and new recruiting agency users. On clicking find agency jobs, they would be able to see all these jobs posted on agency career site. Then if they click on any one of the job posting, they will see this button submit candidate directly. They will have these terms and conditions message first. Then on submitting the candidate, they will see this task. All the job application related details are asked here as well. Then you have submitted the candidate. Now, if you go to login back as the recruiter, and if you see the candidates there, you will be able to see this particular candidate which was submitted by the agency. The internal recruiter also can post. They cannot post anything on the agency website. They have to post an external career website or internal, and then the user can access those. Normal recruiter. We have also seen right now that normal recruiter can post the jobs on agency career site as well. Like we just posted, right? It is our major. We can post the job on agency. Normal recruiter, does it not the user? User will log in and see like these are the job posted. Now I have to work in search for these countries. Let me see if this slogan has the access to find agency job reporter. She These are how it will look like. Here the facets are a bit different. Now that the job category, location, type for time posted with. These are, like I think, these are the agency type setting. Oh, these are all the job agencies. Type is same thing, like how many different type of. Type is different agency type. Like it could be executive or manager. Like we want a particular agency to look into. Like management level 1 to 9. We can create this type that they would be responsible like 1 to 9. A recruiter should make sure that only these jobs are getting posted. To find agency job, I think this is a custom report somebody has created. This is a custom report which was copied from Find Agency Jobs and it has been created. The recruiter or the admin would also be able to see this as well as the user, of course. If I go back here, as a recruiter, like I can work on these candidates who were submitted by the agency. I could move forward or decline. Then agency users may log into their Workday account. And by account, it would be the career site only. Like they will receive notification that jobs have been posted to them. Then new job openings posted to the career site and they will submit candidate to those posted job openings. They will see something like this. Then agency management again. Post job to agency, submit candidate and manage candidate. This is how the sequence flows. We have these work that deliver security groups related to agency, recruiting agency user as well. This would be that particular agency user which we are talking about, which is related to the agency. And all recruiting agency users include list of all the agency users. And this is optional. This would be created by us. Like how we have the feature of timely recruiter. Similarly, we have this feature as well. Then these are the functional areas related to agencies. And we can maintain agency type. Then we can create recruiting agencies like this, how we have seen. Then career site needs to be mentioned. Agency user. And we have to create the work that comes for them. This is how it will look like. Username, new password, verify new password and just submit. It will lead to be a free Workday account BP. And this is the BP. Submit recruiting agency candidate. It has these two main steps which we can include. Then we can allow agencies to self-manage as well. Here they are talking about that recruiting admin level role. Allow recruiting agency administrators to change the recruiting agency information. Once configured, recruiting agency administrator may be able to see all these options. These are certain other options as well. Again, like they'd be able to create agency users as well for their agency. They can edit the gens user details. They can view the existing agency users like that. It manages then setting up recruiting agency, admin. Again, they're talking about how we are going to do. First, you need to maintain assignable role. Create this role and associate with recruiting agency like enable it with this. Then create role-based security group constraint. And then after creating it, assign it to this domain. And then assign this particular admin level role by going on to that agency and assigning it to any existing work of the organization. This is how it looks like admin, then agency, and one of the above. Then I added it in this domain. Then I went to this particular, like I went to this agency user. And I went to their profile and related action. I assigned role over there. This is another way of assigning right. This is how it put. I could define for which agency I'm going to enable the role. Then this is the role and it is assigned over here. Now she will log in. She will have credentials also definitely. And now she will be able to see some extra features. Like a new agency user, we will recruiting agency. Still, she cannot see in my tenant. Create agency user, but that is the another option available also. Then find agency job of course. From here like, on seeing your recruiting agency user, she is getting this option, but I also have seen a different task for me of coming up. From here also it was. This is again like I included here also the activity to create from the accounts for agency users. You can go through this. It will be a good thing to know about this EIV. Then enable automatic notification for recruiting agency user. Two types of notifications are given to the users whenever account has been created or a job has been posted. These are the steps. With this, we end with the Gen Z topic.
Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.